How would you like to be able to turn fear into power? It sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Well, I want to share 3 simple words that you can start to say to yourself and then put into practice that will actually help you able to do that starting today. Stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of The Art of Extraordinary Confidence. I'm your host, Dr. Aziz, and this is a show for you if you want to 10x your confidence in every area of life that matters, including how you approach challenges in your life. No matter what area, it's in your dating life, your social life, your relationship, your career, with your kids, with your health. You know, we always have challenges that we're facing. And in the last episode of this show, I talked about the difference between a problem and a challenge and how to start calling all the problems in your life challenges, because it stops you from being in resistance and afraid of them and expecting you're not supposed to have any, to, here's a challenge, here's a contest, here's something that's testing me so I can step up and face it. And we're going to build on that. In fact, we're going to take it one step further. And we're going to learn from Alexander the Great. Oh, yes. So a client of mine in my mastermind program said he was reading this book called Alexander the Great by Philip Freeman, and it's a biography. And he said it's really fascinating. And I wasn't much of a biography guy until I read that book, and then I got hooked and started reading biographies of everyone I could find, because I was like, what a fascinating way to learn from some of the most unusual or fascinating or driven or intelligent people that have ever lived. In any case, fantastic book. I highly recommend listening to it on Audible. Very entertaining, slight British accent, and well read. And it's an epic story. But what struck me from that book, and this is where I got these 3 words, although he never says them in the book, and I don't think Alexander the Great ever said this, but he lived this philosophy. And what it is you go beyond approaching, when there's a problem that comes in your life, and you say, okay, this is a challenge. That's a good level. You want to take it to the next level, you seek out challenge. And the 3 words that help you do this are bring it on. Bring it on. You seek out the challenge. That's what he's doing. He's like king of, basically inherits it from his father, the capacity to rule all of the Greek nation states. His father had conquered most of them. So he's able to just stay with that, which is a huge amount of power, huge amount of control over large, resources. What's the first thing he wants to do? He wants to quell all these Greek rebellions so he can get across the sea to Asia Minor and start taking that over. And then he's done that. And as soon as he's done that, what does he want to do? He wants to go further. He wants to go into Egypt. Then he wants to go into Mesopotamia. He just wants to expand. He wants to conquer the entire known world. Now, whether you agree with that or think that's sane or think that's ridiculous, that's not the point. The point is he is voluntarily, endlessly taking on challenge. And we can learn from that. You don't have to go conquer the world. But what would conquering the challenges in your life look like? What would stepping up and actively seeking out a higher level challenge on purpose to grow in strength, to live fully? Bring it on. Because then you're not in defense mode. You're not like, oh, I hope there's no problems today. I mean, I hope there's no challenges today. What if you shifted that? There's going to be some unexpected challenges that are going to happen because, hey, it's life. And then there's the big challenges that I'm intentionally taking on. And when you start to do this, you throw yourself into it and you start to feel more alive. You start to feel way more powerful. So the question I have for you is, what is a challenge, a big challenge or a series of small challenges that you want to throw yourself into? You want to take on. You want to intentionally choose them. What comes to your mind right now? One of the simplest ones, you've probably heard me mention it by now, is, and something I've been doing now for 8 months, daily cold shower. This, I think, helps you get this bring it on mentality better than any philosophy, any video, anything, because you get it in your viscerally, in your body, because you're getting slammed with the cold water. But it's basically you intentionally say, great, bring on the discomfort. I'm going to intentionally turn it on cold, hit me, bring it on today. And if you want to, double your bonus points, say bring it on when the cold water first hits you. Bring it on. And then you've trained yourself at the beginning of the day to orient yourself, and then you seek out challenge. Another way I've used this is you got a to-do list, and you got 6 things on the list. Well, how do you know where to begin? How do you know what to prioritize? What is the hardest thing on that list? What is the most uncomfortable thing on that list? What is the thing I want to do least? Bring it on. What would your life be like if you oriented towards seeking out the challenge, going after it? And you know what's going to happen is as you start to do this, you start to feel more and more powerful. You start to feel better and better. You get stronger and stronger and stronger. And it works wonders for anxiety too. A while back, this was months ago now, it was about 8-9 days before I was doing a live event. And before that, I used to get nervous a lot before the live events. And I noticed that before this one, I was really on my self-care, really taking on challenges, bring it on mentality. And so I didn't have that much anxiety. I actually felt mostly excited leading up to it. But then I had this one afternoon where out of nowhere, like after lunch, I just felt totally, all the stuff I was familiar with. Afraid, anxious, constricted, some version of shame, like who am I to have people flying in from all over the place? I can't offer them enough. I'm not good enough. Yeah. Right? That shrinking, who do you think you are feeling? And I said, no. Because I'd spent, before previous events, I would spend hours journaling and reflecting, like, what is it? What can I let go of? And that was valuable. Maybe it got me to where I was, but I was done with that. I was like, you know what? This is a challenge. Yeah, bring it on. So what do? I say, okay, we need to orient towards challenge and we need to take it on. And we need to do this viscerally with my body. So I went for a run. This was during the winter. So it was about, 40 degrees, raining, and I went for a run shirtless. It's like, bring it on. And then I did another ice bath, an ice plunge. I took water, filled it up in the tub as much as possible, got 3 bags of ice in there, so 21 pounds of ice. The water was down to 43 degrees. I got a little thermometer, measure it, and I sat in there for 15 minutes. It was fully submerged up to my neck. And just like bring it on. And by the time I did both of those things, the run and the ice bath, I got out and I felt awesome. Totally relaxed, like literally in my body, because I took a hot bath after the cold one. Mwah, brilliant. And it felt so good, and also like totally relaxed about the event. And you could say, well, you did a lot to your biochemistry, and I'm sure I did, doing the run and then the cold plunge, and orienting towards challenge. Bring it on. All of a sudden you build a ton of muscle, you get back into what you can control, because I get anxious about what other people's experiences and, are people gonna like this? Can I help them? That's all of them. All I can do is show up as powerfully as I can and deliver everything I got. So there's nothing left, hold nothing back. So bring on the challenge. What is that for you? I like the cold stuff because it's a fast way to get into our body. But maybe there's a different thing for you. Maybe it's working out. Maybe it's going and doing something you're scared of. Maybe it's speaking up in front of a group. Maybe it's approaching someone. Whatever it is that builds that power in you, bring it on. So share in the comments below. What are you going to do? What are you inspired to do? If you're feeling fired up, you're feeling some of my energy right now, and you're fired up right now in this moment, go do something. Commit to something. Turn this potential energy into immediate action. Because if you don't, the likelihood, the half-life of this energy is quick. So it's going to drop fast. By tomorrow morning, you're like, that did sound inspiring. And then by tomorrow night, 24 hours, 48 hours, what else is on YouTube, right? We go back to entertainment mode. So use this. Don't waste this. Don't squander it. Share what you're going to do down below. Share what you did, and let's all rise together. And until we speak again, may you have the courage to be who you are and to know on a deep level that you're awesome. I'll talk to you soon.